Christopher Marlowe, the playwright, and James I, who took over after Queen Elizabeth. William Shakespeare's kind of more famous, although he would have been bisexual after gay. He was married at a young age to a woman older than he was, later went to London to be an actor, and there's evidence that he may have been acted female parts, including Lady Macbeth at times when necessary. Shakespeare's sonnets, the first few sonnets as they're arranged, reveal his obsession with a young nobleman whom people think was called William Hughes, or more popularly known as W.H. In this particular poem, he calls attention to the man's androgynous beauty, calling him the master mistress of my passion. Talking about how his woman's heart, which is more faithful than a woman's, of course, is concealed in his man's hue. But of course, the guy is for a woman first created, and pricked out for women's pleasure, so he's going to be, let him have his way for women, because W.H. was, although beautiful, probably straight. In fact, Shakespeare's later sonnets seem to be implying that W.H. was going out with the dark lady, a woman whom Shakespeare had a crush on. So it's tough to be bisexual, I guess, and you can see why he wrote those tragedies. And you'll have noticed that by now we're in the 17th century. And something that people don't know about the 17th century, most people don't realize, was that there was this flowering of lesbianism that happened. There was this whole new attitude towards women's sexuality. Women were actually encouraged to masturbate, to let out their, it was thought to be something healthy. Of course, it still is. And there were women like Christina of Sweden, the first female monarch of her country, who was instrumental in ending the 30 Years' War, rebuilding her country to glory, and obsessively studying mathematics and philosophy. Instead, she worked the philosopher René Descartes to death by demanding lessons at 5 a.m. in the morning. When she met the Pope, she shook his hand so heartily that doctors had to attend to it afterwards. And in England, there were quite a few prominent women writers, usually married to men, but writing passionate love poetry to women, like Margaret Cavendish, the Duchess of Newcastle, author and philosopher, Catherine Phillips, who was revered as the matchless Orinda for her poetry, and Arthur Penn, the first female professional playwright and a spy for the English government. And these women were all marked by intelligence, strength of character, and a habit of dressing in the clothes of men. It wasn't unusual; it was the fashion back then. There's this tract that we had to read, and I had a lesbian English professor for my Shakespeare class, and we read this tract where, this woman who is accused of, why are women so manly these days? And she said, hello, you look at the kind of makeup you men are putting on. Pretty Renaissance, pretty gay times. White people were moving beyond Europe now. In America, the Pilgrims Mary Hammond and Sarah Norman were charged with lewd behavior upon a bed. And they're thought to be the first women in America to be convicted of lesbianism. The Mexican child prodigy and nun, Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, wrote such magnificent poetry with strong proto-feminist and women-loving themes that she was celebrated as the phoenix of the Americas, the last of Spain's golden age writers. And then there's the curious case of Catalina de Arauzo, when she was sent from a nunnery in Spain she was sent when she was a little girl to a nunnery in Spain. She didn't want to be a nunnery, so she ran away dressed as a boy, joined the army, ended up being involved in the conquest of Peru and Chile, and seduced a whole bunch of women, killed quite a number of men, on being discovered as an anatomical woman, she was able to escape punishment because she proved she was a virgin. Technically. And since we're in the New World, we can take a break for questions. Short break, because we've got to run along. Questions, anyone? Sex rather than interfemoral sex. There's one bit in which, this guy, this author retorts that a woman's no good for, just happens to have two assholes. But women. But attitudes towards homosexuality are, do actually like vary quite widely. Like when they've surveyed places like Africa and Native American tribes, they've found like there just happen to be some places which tolerate certain forms, and some which have impose certain forms like compulsorily, others which don't tolerate it. So it's just one of those cultural things. Okay, yeah. Any more questions? Yeah, Jean.
Is there a thriving lesbian and gay man culture? Usually it's just like the gay man.
Yeah, probably, I don't know, you mean in the Renaissance? Or?
No, maybe like a mixed lesbian, mixed gay bar, maybe. My lesbians and gay men.
Probably not. Well,
they're all separated. Yeah. You know. Another question, some of the famous gay men that you point out as Saint Augustine and Socrates, they are extremely sexist as well. Are they jealous of women?
They're jealous of women. They can't be jealous. Are you jealous of the table?
No, I mean, but
that's how they saw women.
Women didn't exist.
Yeah, you can't be jealous about something that doesn't even figure in your world.
But historically, a lot of gay men were really sexist.
yeah, but even like Saint Augustine, he's instrumental in his theology of putting women down in the church, which all other saints don't do, except him, for example.
Yeah, I seem to recall he was pretty, Augustine himself was pretty anti-woman.
Yes.
There are, some people claim St. Paul himself. And I mean, he was thoroughly anti-woman.
No,
Like,
it's quite
you think so?
So, Paul?
Okay. Well, aside from him, they didn't have him. Okay. All right.
Something is the gay lesbian culture since Teresa of Avila and John of the Cross. Since Teresa of Avila was found to be lesbian, she ended up having encounters with Jonah for years.
I did not know that.
Teresa, well known.
Oh, dear.
And the John of the Cross, well, we
I
don't
thought she
know.
just likes having sex with angels.
The Countess of Gina was obviously an angel.
Oh, yeah.
But
Actually,
John of
there's
the
also-
Cross also spoke like through Vasco. He also spoke
She
to
was-
loving men.
Was she early 17th century or early? Yeah, there was. I didn't even mention
Both-
like Elizabeth
both
Bathory,
Teresas
like
were
the lesbian vampire. And,
Both
like,
Teresas, the doctors of the church, and both of them were lesbians.
Like there was Benedetta Carlini who dressed up as an angel to seduce her nuns.
I think John of the Cross was gay as well. Because
Oh,
he was
John of the. Well, no, I mean actually. Well, it's hard to tell. I mean, for those who don't know, John of the Cross wrote this poem which was talking about how, imagining himself as being penetrated sexually by God. I mean, not quite in such bare terms, but this idea of, I think there was quite a, like as men were to women, angels were to men. So, you know,
But they
angels
were
were.
contemporary. They were contemporary,
Yeah.
so they hung out together. No, they did.
Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, let's get back. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah. Speaking of the New World, as more and more Westerners drifted from civilization, you've got to realize some just broke away, and so yes, I am talking about pirates.
Oh no.
Yeah. Pirates spending drunken months on ships without women, and they were often associated with gay sex by their enemies. In fact, Johnny Depp says he got his interpretation from Captain Jack Sparrow's character from a scholarly work entitled Sodomy and the Pirate Tradition. Yeah, pirates would often form close buddy pairs under a system called matelotage. That functioned like the pairs of the sacred bands of Thebes. They would be partners, and almost a form of gay marriage where you looked out for each other's backs. But it's not completely true that there were no women in pirate societies, because some of you may have heard of the interesting case of Anne Bonny and Mary Read, who were both married before